All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite weekly episodic Monday weekly release podcast called Talking to Myself. My name is Dante Toro. I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you all for joining me. I hope everybody is having a great Monday so far. I'm very much so hoping that this comes out before Raw is on today at 3 o'clock in London. I will be live on YouTube streaming it. But like I said, I hope this comes out before. If this doesn't, you can go rewatch the stream after you watch this. But be on the lookout for that, regardless of whether this comes out before or not. Anyways, how are we doing? Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great week. Last week we talked about a bunch of different things. I answered a bunch of comments, talked about video games. We talked about some stuff going forward on this channel. What else did we talk about? Some Celtics stuff. Basically, just went over, some updates, this and that. But this week, I actually have have some topics and some things that we can talk about. So this isn't going to be mostly comments of the week or me just kind of talking about just random shit, I guess. We actually have a structured thing today, and probably the biggest topic is we're going to be going over bucket list items. So I have a list of some bucket list items that I wish to check off one day, before my time is up. So we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about some things that I've been watching this week, and it's unfortunately not any movies. I'm sorry, guys. I'm seeing your comments, whether it be on the Talk to Myself videos or just other videos, the YouTube community, whatever, or in live streams. Movie content will be coming out soon. I'm still kind of figuring out the structure and schedule of how I want this channel to be. Like, I want to have consistent series, but I don't want to water things down. Like Sporkle, for example, people love Sporkle, and so do I. I just don't want it to get to a point where I'm posting them and people get bored of it or whatever. I want to save it so it's like, it comes out every so often. So when it does come out, people are looking forward to it. They're anticipating it. Movies, definitely going to implement that into my schedule at some point. I don't know if it'll be like a standalone, like on Wednesdays, a movie review is going to come out. It might be just it comes out as I see it, or I plan on watching a movie before a specific day to review it. But I think it'll come out with another video, so we'll have two videos that day instead of just the movie one. But yeah, so I'm still figuring that out. I did put out a video last week that I am happy that people did like. It didn't do as well as some of the other videos that I've done, but it still did really well. The comment section, people did like it. I went back and reviewed December to Dismember, arguably the worst wrestling pay-per-view in history, not just WWE, just in wrestling. So I reviewed that, and the feedback was awesome. I definitely want to make that a consistent series where I just kind of go back, watch old pay-per-views, ones that are critically acclaimed as one of the worst, or it can be considered one of the best, and kind of give my review, my rankings, my ratings, and all that. If you guys want to leave comments for certain events you want me to cover, I'd be happy to add it to the list because I've already started putting one together. But yeah, still figuring out the schedule structure of things. I'm getting the hang of it. It's getting better for sure, but once I kind of get that down, the movie stuff will be implemented. I did start doing more live streams. This week I live streamed like 4 times. Actually no, I think cuz Monday I think I actually live streamed 5 times last week. So I'm happy that I'm starting to implement that because that's something I really want to start doing on this channel and just in general. So thank you for everyone that joined me. If not, no worries. We'll be doing plenty of that moving forward. So you can join then. But yeah, then we have a Celtics update. We'll go over some Celtics stuff, comments of the week. And yeah, I say we jump into it. This is honestly an episode that I've had planned out since before I even started this channel and this podcast and everything, just thinking of different episodes, things I wanted to do, and I've kind of been pushing this one off. But we're here now. I have 6 bucket list items. Some I might think of some as we're talking, and there might be a few I left off that I've thought about in the past but don't have it written down. Let's go over them one by one. I'm gonna say what it is. Actually, I'm gonna give I'm gonna go one by one. I'll explain each one, and then we'll do it that way. First one I have, "Sing Beautiful Soul" with Jesse McCartney. All right, I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. We are off to a hot start with this bucket list. Jesse McCartney. If you guys know him, you know how amazing he is. If you don't know him, you're living under a rock, and you should check out Jesse McCartney. Beautiful Soul, Leavin', How Do You Sleep, Body Language, even his newer songs, Friends, I'm a big fan of, She's No You, How Do You Sleep. Listen, the guy's a legend. Jesse McCartney's an absolute legend. I remember being 5, 6 years old, and my mom bought me his CD, the Beautiful Soul CD, as well as his live and concert DVD. Love the guy. Loved him since I was 5, 6 years old. Still love him at 26 years old. He actually went to New Haven this past, I think it was last year, end of last year for a concert, and I was thinking of going, but New Haven is a pretty far drive for me. I tried. I was maybe gonna set things up, staying at some friend's house for it. Never happened. But if he comes around to Boston, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna find. I'm gonna find a way to get in touch with them, get on stage, and sing "Beautiful Soul" with Jesse McCartney. That is been a lifelong dream of mine. I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club. I never really even talked about this before, but fuck it, we're here. I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club when I was younger, just like when I was too young to stay home alone. My mom worked, my stepdad worked and stuff. So I couldn't be home alone. So I went to the Boys and Girls Club. And at the end of each summer, they would have talent shows. And this is tough to talk about, but they had talent shows, and you could do, like, I was in groups, like they had groups per like age and stuff. So I was in my group, and you had to do a group talent thing. So ours was singing Year 3000 by the Jonas Brothers, which was lit. We actually did it 2 years in a row because we were so good at it the first year that we did it a second. But you could also do individual. And for a brief period of time growing up, I not only wanted to, but thought I could be a singer, and I was a good singer. Not the case. I 2 years in a row. The first year I sang "Beautiful Soul" by Jesse McCartney, and the second year I sang "Wait for You" by Elliot Yamin in front of hundreds of people. And I thank God every time I think of this story. And I would say every time I tell the story, but I don't tell it a lot. You guys are lucky. Every time I think of the story, I just remind myself, thank God this was in a time before like phones and cameras and video recording stuff was popular, because to my knowledge, there's no video footage out there, at least that I can get a hold of. And thank God, I want to keep it that way, because I know for a fact it didn't go well. In my head, I probably killed it. I remember the last thing about this before I keep embarrassing myself is before I sang Elliot Yamin, I went to the Boys and Girls Club, so it was like casual, like you wear shorts, a t-shirt, like it's summertime. I brought I brought a change of clothes to dress up in, like a button-down shirt and like dress pants. And I had like the dress shoes. I got dressed up beforehand, and the guy he just kept telling me, "You look just like him. You're just like Elliot Yamin." And that was, for a 10-year-old Dante, that was like the best thing I could hear. But yeah, okay. So we'll get that embarrassing. We'll throw that out there. Why not? Digital footprint. Everyone will know now that I embarrassingly sang Jesse McCartney and Elliot Yamin, but you will not find it anywhere. I can promise you that. So the first one we have, first bucket list, singing "Beautiful Soul" with Jesse McCartney. The second one we have is "To Get Iced" by Howie Mandel with their Deal or No Deal briefcase. Now, hear me out. If you know what getting iced is, it's those little glass drinks or whatever. You hide them, or you like be like, "Oh, you got ice," and like you shock your friend with that out of nowhere, whatever. However you do it, then you have to chug the ice. It's been a thing since, I don't know, since I was in college. I don't know how long it's been around for, but that's what icing is. Now, tying in Howie Mandel and Deal or No Deal, I love Deal or No Deal. I loved it growing up. I don't watch it consistently, but when I go to Dave & Buster's, I do play the Deal or No Deal ticket game because I try my best to get the 500 tickets. I think, well, actually, I got this idea from David Dobrik in one of his vlogs, and I was deeply obsessed with David Dobrik vlogs back in college and like during the COVID era and everything. I would watch him all the time. But in one of his vlogs, they did that. Howie Mandel would be in some vlogs, and he iced someone with a Deal No Deal briefcase. And since that day, I was like, I need to make it a mission for that to happen. Howie Mandel iced me, just open the briefcase, and it's just an ice. Just the visual of that, the idea of that, might be the best bucket list thing on here. The third one we have is that it's a third one, and it's kind of cut in two: to get sponsored by Chipotle and Celsius. And that's a goal that we've had on this channel. As you all know, the comments of the week is not sponsored by Chipotle until we get sponsored by Chipotle, because Chipotle is a brand I want to work with more than anyone else. And same with Celsius. I drink Celsius all the time. Well, more than I should. But I would love to be sponsored by them. I think that would be a great, great business relationship, as well as Chipotle, because I eat a lot of Chipotle. I can be a great brand person, spokesperson, whatever you want to call me. You can put me in commercials. You can put me on the radio. You can put me on the newspaper. You can put me wherever you want. Chipotle, I got you. That is a goal for my life and for this channel, and we will make that happen. The fourth one is we're back to singing, ladies and gentlemen, to sing This Afternoon with Nickelback. So again, kind of going with the Jess McCartney, going to a Nickelback concert, somehow getting on stage. And I actually thought of this because I found out that at their shows, they actually bring a fan on stage to sing. I think it's Rockstar or Photograph. I think it's Rockstar. It was someone from Barstool. They Nickelback, or the lead singer of Nickelback, was on a podcast or something, and then they mentioned they had a show, and then was it Glennie Balls? I forget who it was. Someone at Barstool was like, I'll go to the show, I'll do that, whatever, and they brought him on stage. So since then, I was like, I need to do that, but not Photograph or Rockstar. This Afternoon is my all-time favorite Nickelback song. Not saying it's the best, but it is my favorite. And I would absolutely love to get on stage and sing my absolute heart out with Nickelback. That would be an ultimate bucket list item. And then my fifth one, so we have two more here. Fifth one, and this one is probably the least goofiest, or I would say maybe the most realistic, is winning a wrestling championship. So, as you may know, I did have a wrestling match last year for Focus Pro Wrestling, and that is something that I would love to get back into one day, is stepping back in the ring. Because it was one of the best nights of my life, stepping into a wrestling ring and having a match, and training and everything sucked, but it was so worth it. And of course, like you get the itch, and then you want to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. It can be an addiction, and it's been a long year, and I would love to get back in the ring at some point and train, and step into a promotion and see what I can do, and then see where it leads me. I'm 26. I still got a lot of good years left in me, knock on wood, and I don't think it's crazy to think that I can get back into the ring and potentially win a championship. Not saying I'm winning the WWE championship or world championship or nothing like that, but I think it's, if I put my mind to it and something I get back into, I think it is a very possible bucket list item to cross off. And then the sixth one I have, and this one might be the silliest one. This one actually might lead to death. This one might lead to my early death. Is I want to record the fastest time to eat a Big Mac sandwich. I don't want to be. I don't listen. I don't know how fast it is to eat a Big Mac. Maybe I should look that up right now. This is something I should have researched before. Maybe that would have fastest time to eat a Big Mac. Maybe if I looked this up before, I would have maybe not talked about this and seem like an idiot. Oh no, the record for most Big Macs eaten in one sitting is 32, set by Joey Chestnut in over 38 minutes. Okay, so that's one sitting. I need to know how fast. The fastest time to eat McDonald's Big Mac meal is clocked at 59.39 seconds. Oh, that was 2013. But that's also a meal. So I have to eat the fries and okay, hold on. Guinness Book record setters. Here we go. Hold on, guys. I think we got something here. Maybe. Get the ads out. Come on. Okay. Nope. We don't have anything. Can I just get like a number? Is there like, because that's the meal. Oh, Elite World Records. Here we go. 59.39 seconds. But 2013, I feel that has to be updated. There's got to be an updated record or something like that, because what is the fastest time to... Either way, my goal in life is to eat the Big Mac the fastest out of anyone. If I go one day, as long as I die with the record, someone else can break it. That's totally fine with me. But yeah, so those are my 6 bucket list items. So they're fucking crazy. I think only a few of them are actually like somewhat super realistic. The other ones are kind of whatever. But hey, that's why they're bucket list items. They're not supposed to be the most realistic things in the world. But yeah, let me know in the comments what your bucket list items are. If it is, if you agree with me, if you also want to sing with Jess McCartney and Nickelback, if you want to get Chipotle membership or a sponsorship and get Iced by Howie Mandel, if those things are also on your bucket list, that would be absolutely crazy, because I feel like I'm the only person with those on here. But all right, let's move on. Just a quick thing we're going to talk about, because I do have a video coming out on it later this week. I don't know what day. I think it's going to come out on, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, on April 2nd. So Wednesday. Yeah, so Wednesday, I have a WCW video coming out, which is going to be very different for me because I don't ever talk about or cover WCW because I wasn't around during WCW, or I was way too young to be a fan of wrestling when WCW like was just ending and stuff. So WWE made a WCW Vault account, or just it's called WCW, where they're posting old matches, they're doing streams of old events, and I have been watching a lot of old matches because I've never watched really WCW before, like to the extent that I am, and I wanted to make a video of me reviewing some of the matches, kind of giving my thoughts on the vibe of WCW, how it differentiates from WWE, and all that good stuff. So I'm excited to put that out, and I think I'm going to record it tomorrow. But yeah, I think that'll be good because it is something a lot of people push. A lot of people want me to watch old content and obviously expand my knowledge of wrestling, and that's of course something I want to do as well. So I'm happy to be doing that and then making content out of it as well, so we can get something out of it. So keep your eye out for that. Again, I always tell you guys, put the notification bells on. So when this video, other videos come out, you can watch them ASAP as soon as they come out. Okay, before we jump into comments of the week, let's give a quick Celtics update. I mentioned last week that I kind of wanted to implement a little bit of Celtics talk into this podcast because I used to have a basketball podcast when I was at Clutch Points called Sitting Courtside, and I miss having my weekly sit down to Jerry and talking about basketball. But I used to have a bunch of Celtics podcasts too, but I want to just implement it here so I can kind of it encourages me, it motivates me to check it. I mean, I watch the games and stuff, but really just like zone in, take notes, observe things, and then talk about it on a podcast. So Celtics this past week went 3-0. I think they're actually undefeated since we started talking about the Celtics on this podcast. So hopefully they can keep that undefeated streak going. 3-0. They beat the Kings, the Suns, poor Suns, and the Spurs all by double digits. I think the Spurs game was a 10-point win, and that was the closest. That was the closest out of all three games. What was insane about this 3-game stretch is I think against Sacramento, Tatum injured his ankle because he was shooting a three. I think it was a three. And Domantas Sabonis, stepped in his landing space, and Tatum rolled his ankle hard. I thought this guy was like bawling his eyes out on the court. He looked like he was in so much pain. And after a few minutes of him being on the floor, like legitimately, like I fear those things happening because you never know how serious like an ankle injury could be. It could always be like, it looks bad, but it doesn't end up being bad, or it can be treacherous. Like we're 10 games away from the playoffs. So losing Tatum now to an ankle injury would have just been the worst thing that could possibly happen. I described that instance of him like almost crying, he had like a towel on his face, and he had to get help to the locker room. Didn't play the rest of the game. Doesn't play against Phoenix, but does play against San Antonio. I guess the ankle injury wasn't that bad because he played 5 nights later. And I guarantee you the Celtics were trying their hardest to make him sit out. And Jason Tatum, he said it in the past, like he does everything he can to play in every game, whether it's home or away, because he wants to play in front of the fans. He's mentioned before that, there are fans that buy tickets to watch me play. And how would it feel if we played and I just wasn't inactive, like I was a late scratch or something like that? Is super unfortunate to the people that bought the tickets and, the kids that came there to watch and whatever. So Tatum really shows up to work, and no matter what, if he's dealing with an ankle injury or whatever, like he fucking finds a way to play. And that's why, like, I admire him as a superstar athlete and being a potential face of the league and as a role model in the NBA, because he's a superstar that shows up to work and he wants to play every game. The NBA has a big problem of superstars being babied and not wanting to play. And it's, it's players' fault, it's teams' fault too, the strategy behind it. But Jason Tatum is the perfect example. Like, I don't think there's a star player that fans or, people should want their kids to look up to more than Jason Tatum. On the court, he is one of the best players in the league. He's getting to a point where he's close to averaging a 30-point triple-double almost every game. Like, he can put up a 3-10-10 stat line. 30-10-10, stat line every single game. He is amazing on the floor, sets a great example by, again, showing up playing. Off the court, he's an amazing father figure. Like, he's a great role model. Like, I don't understand the hate that this guy gets, and I legitimately could do a whole podcast about defending Jason Tatum, really, but Jason Tatum, the amount of hates that he gets for the work that he puts in, how much he shows up, and how good he is actually ridiculous. But moving on from Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis has been on an absolute tear since his return from a viral illness or whatever the fuck he had. In the 3 games this week, he had 2 blocks and 8 rebounds in every single game. He also had 16 points, 30 points, and 11 points, all while playing right around or below 30 minutes a game. So Kristaps Porzingis getting into the flow of things right before the playoffs is exactly what we want to see. Huge shout out to Baylor Shireman as well, who in the month of March has earned some good rotation minutes, some solid rotation minutes, and he has been performing. He's averaging 18.6 minutes per game in March. From October to February, before this month, he averaged zero point 0.4 points per game, not even half a point, just 0.4, was shooting 16% from the field and 6.7% from the three-point line. In March, he's averaging 7 points per game, 49% from the field and 47% from three. I was so hyped when we drafted him. I think he's going to be a very bright spot, not bright sport, bright spot for the Boston Celtics over the next few years. He's basically like Sam Hauser. Like he's going to be Sam Hauser's replacement when that time comes and he leaves, or he gets traded, whatever. But Baylor Shireman has found rotation minutes. I'm super happy for him. I don't think he'll play a lot in the playoffs. He might, but I don't expect to see him play a lot. But it is very encouraging to see him performing the way that he is and playing as much as he is. Seeing Joe Mazzulla trust him and as well as his teammates, because he had some big performances in March. He had a 20-point game. I think he had like six threes or something like that. I forget who it was against. But he's had some good games showing out. I love what I'm seeing out of Baylor, and yeah, hopefully we see him continue to perform well for the rest of the season. So now we're done with that. Let's get into comments of the week, not sponsored by Chipotle. We are going to be saying that until we are sponsored by Chipotle. Chipotle, I mentioned you already this episode, and I know we have some people watching that work at Chipotle. There was someone in my live chat or live stream the other day. I like to call him a ZD. It's like Xiett. I forget the exact spelling of it, but I kept calling him ZD. I think I am so sorry if I'm mixing people up, but I think he said he worked at Chipotle. We're gonna be in touch. We're gonna figure something out. We're gonna get me that sponsorship. But first comment we have is from Ads Games. What's a typical life of Dante like when you're not planning or uploading videos on any platform? Take us through your daily schedule. I like these questions. I like the questions that aren't just wrestling related, that are non-wrestling, just answering questions about my life and stuff. So don't be afraid to ask those. Take me through our schedule. So Taylor gets up early for work, so I usually get up with her around like 7, anywhere between 7 and 8. At that point, get up, get ready for the day, contacts, brushing my teeth. I feed Tony, take him out to go to the bathroom. And after that, I kind of plan my day. So each day is kind of depending on, like some days I have filming days, so I film 2, 3, 4 videos. Some days I'm just editing. Some videos I might be watching. I take time to watch like events or something to take notes for a video, like December to Dismember, for example. I think last Monday I watched it from like 8:30 to 10:30, 11 or whatever it is. So I do that. I try to throughout the day, I take Tony out, take him for walks and everything like that. I try my best to get to the gym some days. I will admit, since I've kind of been doing this full time and figuring out my schedule and what I do, it's been hard to implement that, but we will get back into that. Hopefully that'll get added back into the schedule at some point. But honestly, besides planning, uploading, and editing and stuff, this has really been my life for the last 3 weeks. Like I've been grinding a lot. I've been putting a lot of time into this channel and editing videos and researching and trying to better myself, whether it be for making thumbnails or editing videos or just coming up with good content. The last 3 weeks, admittedly, like this has been my schedule. At nighttime, I do play video games with my friends and kind of relax or watch something with Taylor. When Taylor comes home at like 6:37 every night. So when she comes home, we'll eat, talk about our days, hang out, watch something like I mentioned. And she likes doing her things too. Like she likes to paint. She likes doing arts and crafts, reading. She does other things. So if I'm playing video games, she can do her thing as well. But yeah, that's kind of, at least for now, that's what my daily schedule is. Just recording, editing, posting, just being as active on social media and YouTube as I can, because I'm really just trying to build this thing up. I'm putting a lot of time into this, and I'm happy with how far we've come. There's still a long ways to go, but I'm very happy with the progress I've made so far. Also, I've been implementing live streams in my schedules, as I've said earlier. But yeah, that's kind of my life right now. It's just this channel. Who are some of the YouTube people that influence your style or how you want your videos to come across? That's also a good question by Sizzlin' Papaya. Some YouTube people that influence my style or just are influences on me from the wrestling community, I'd probably say like BDE, Santi, Penguin Zero, or Moist Criticals, or Charlie, if you guys know him, because he just makes videos of just reviewing things or going over funny videos, or just like he just like talks to his chat and people just like their friends and everything. He's just super personable, and just like when he's talking, I feel like it's just a friend talking about things or whatever. So I'd say like people like that, like Santi, BDE, Moist Criticals, Charlie, like they influence me to be myself and be personal and just put out good content, but be me. And as long as I'm myself, it'll attract people, and that's what will help the channel grow. So that's kind of, I guess that would be my answer. There's probably a few more people, like those are the biggest names that come to mind, but there's definitely a few more people that I would say are influences or people that I look up to, or I don't say want to be like, that's not what the thing is. I want to be myself, but I like the way that they carry themselves. And that's something that I would like to implement in my videos, just being myself, being the best possible version of myself, and hopefully that attracts an audience. When did you start watching wrestling? I started watching wrestling in late 2006. So like probably like October, November of 2006. Just flipping through TV one Friday night, episode of SmackDown was on. I think it was the Brothers of I always say this. It's either the Brothers of Destruction. It's Brothers of Destruction versus two of either Booker T, Finley, or Mr. Kennedy. It's a combo of those. It's two of those three. I always forget who. I always think it's Booker T and Finley, but I'm not 100% sure. But that was the first match I ever saw, and it hooked me. It hooked me to this day. And the last comment we have, this is more of a shout out, because this person, Rodrigad, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it, comments this on basically almost every video, where he recommends scary movies to me until I become a fan. And he is committed to this. He is on day, I think this screenshot says day 18, but we're definitely in the 20s now. Rodrigad, I want you to know I appreciate your commitment, and I appreciate you commenting on every video and pushing for this. I'll tell you what, because of your commitment and because of how committed you are to this bit, I'm telling you, the first movie review that I do will be a horror movie. I promise you that. The first movie review that I do will be a horror movie. I will not like it, and I might rip it apart. I'm just letting you know. I'll pick one of the movies that you suggested. You gave me a lot of movies, so I'll pick one of those. If you're listening to this, if there is one specifically that you want me to watch, let me know. I'll listen to you. I'll do it. I'll do it. You're a true fan. I appreciate you watching, commenting, and stuff. So for you, I'll do it. But yeah, that's all I really have. I think this was a good episode. We talked about some good stuff, some bucket list stuff, some WCW, some Celtics talk, answered some good comments. I appreciate all the comments that you guys left for me. I'll make sure to post the Q&A again next week. I'll post a little bit earlier than day of. I know I shouldn't have posted it this morning. I feel like not enough people had time to leave comments or whatever. So I'll make sure to post that earlier. Thank you again for the comments. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you are an audio only listener, let me reword that. If you're here on YouTube, I appreciate that. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But if you're an audio only listener, or you want to listen to this on audio, check this out on Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. You want to listen to that 5-star review, ratings, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. I think this is where we go our separate ways, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you all have a great rest of the Monday. It's 11 o'clock now, so this should be out before Raw. If not, I apologize. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Love you. Peace out.